Great, good evening.
Hi,
You state your full name for the record.
I'm Ann Berndhardt. I'm Kevin's better half.
And Ms. Berndhardt, were you in the room earlier when I went through the penalties for perjury?
I was.
And do you understand what perjury is?
I sure do.
Being advised of the potential penalties for perjury, do you promise to tell the truth in this case tonight?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Leibel.
So you obviously heard Kevin's testimony. Did you agree with everything that he had related about your farm and your concerns about this?
Absolutely. He's way too kind because it works me up way more than it does him. He was born and raised out there. I was raised next to the swimming pool, but that farm's my farm. I worked hard for that farm, and it bugs me that somebody can just take it from me.
And so one of the things, and I'm kind of going to summarize a little bit to keep us moving. So one of the things the commission is considering and looking at is the adverse effect on, the individuals imposed by the pipeline. Does this route minimize that effect? And so Kevin had testified that, his concern was if that pipeline goes in right there, his son and his wife aren't going to build a house there or won't want to. How does that affect you?
Well, I'm hoping they're going to give me some more grandchildren. I'd rather have them living close to home than in Bismarck. It's just not fair. It's our dream. It's our plan since my boys were little boys. We're going to farm together. We're going to do something together. And it changes everything.
Okay. Now, one of the things that Kevin talked about is that the pipeline going through going kitty corner through your Section 36 is going to impact the yields. Have you ever observed where a pipeline was put in and the ground above it didn't recover?
Yep, I can see it. Most people can. If you come out, it's obvious. I know. If you know anything about land, if you know anything about farming, it's obvious when you enter a field that it's there. You can see it.
And so when you talk about, that it's going to impact either yields or rental value or land value, can you explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, and I've heard that it doesn't affect land values. It does. I'll give you an example. Let's say there's 2 quarters of land right next to each other. Identical. You're not going to find identical, but they're identical. They're both cropland. They both have the same soils. They're both the same size. Mine has a pipeline going through it, and the other one doesn't. We're both asking $4,000 an acre, but you can only buy one. Which one are you going to buy? You're going to take the one without the pipeline. So you tell me mine isn't worth less. Absolutely.
Now, one of your husband talked a little bit about, how he didn't feel that Summit respected your desires to improve your land. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
It's black and white. I can't believe them maps that my husband handed out. That should shock you all. It's obvious. It's black and white. They're going right through our yard. They had no concern. You'd even let me show you where it's at. They didn't care. It wasn't on their maps. They used old maps. They didn't care. And I'm like, just look here. Right there's my son's place. It wasn't on their map. They didn't care. The route was the route.
Now, you provided to the commission your 2022 Emmons County real estate tax statement, which I'm going to mark as AB1.
Can I just do KB 2?
Sure.
Or-
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
And what's the purpose of, what did you want the commission to take away from that tax statement?
Okay, you guys have heard it all today. I mean, you've heard all the logistics, all the I don't know, you've heard the safety, everything else, but you haven't heard a lot about property rights. When you look at my property taxes, it's obvious Kevin and Ann Berndhardt own that land. You don't see Summit Carbon Solutions' name on my my property tax statement. You don't see the PSC's name on there. I don't see Harold Ham's, Gary Tharelson, or Governor Burgum's. That is my land. We made monthly payments for that land. We paid the taxes for years and years. We broke that land over. We broke the land open. We leveled that land. We picked rocks. We worked day and night to make that land our land. We weren't going to be the generation. We're a fourth generation farm. We weren't the ones that were going to lose it. We worked hard. I remember many nights going to bed and crying because I was that tired. We worked that hard and we made it. Kevin and I made it and we own that land. But what does that mean? What does it mean when you own your land, when these billionaires, these big investors can come in and tell you what they're doing, when they're doing it, what they're doing, how little they're going to give you? I don't understand how you can say I own the land when somebody else can come in and do what they want to it. That blows my mind. It's my land. Them property taxes say it. The deeds in the courthouse say it. You guys have to protect us. If we want the pipeline, that's one thing, but we don't. And obviously, there's a lot of people that do, so reroute it. But protect us. It's our land.
I have no further questions.
You're offering KB2?
I am, yes, sorry.
Any objection to the exhibit?
No objection.
Mr. Pelham?
No objection.
Mr. Bakke?
No.
Okay, KB2 is admitted. Any questions, Mr.
No
Bender?
questions.
Mr. Pelham?
No questions.
Mr. Bakke?
No questions.
Commissioner Crispin?
I do not, but thank you for being here, Ann.
Commissioner Haugen-Hoffert?
Yeah, just a comment. I had to step out. I promise I'll go and review your complete testimony. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Dawson?
No questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Can I add one comment? I found this very interesting. Do you know that Harold Ham is worth $49.3 billion, and yet he feels he needs part of my farm? I find that amazing. As well as Gary Tharelson, the wealthiest person in North Dakota, and he wants a piece of my land. It's amazing.